Hey, my name is Dr. Mark Rosenberg. You've been following my channel. I've been talking about knees and just doing a little karate practice there. A little background about myself. I've been doing martial arts for 40 years. Of course, I started studying for self-defense. This is all in my prior videos, but there's about 100 of them, so I can't expect you to filter through everything. And when I started studying, I noticed that quite a few people, after a few months of throwing kicks and practicing karate, they hurt their knees. And it troubled me. I was only a teenager. I was young. I was 15 or so. And I realized, I asked my teacher, what's the best thing to do? And he said the best thing to do was to practice 10 of every technique that you know every night. So I figured if 10 was good, 100 was better. And I used to get into this Zen-like state of practicing my kicks. I'd incorporate a block with it, and I would throw one kick. I'd throw 100 of every kick I know. Front kick, side kick, round kick, wheel kicks, you name it. And what I discovered, I started doing some research, and I started realizing, and I mentioned this in an earlier video as well, that the Caucasian martial artists were having more problems with their knees than the people from Korea, Japan, and China. So what was the difference? It had to be something with the anatomy. And in doing my research, I learned that certain muscles, which were used in other cultures to squat and to bend because they lived a more primitive lifestyle up until maybe 100 or so years ago, they didn't have the issues that we did because we started as Caucasians, we started sitting in chairs and getting more lackadaisical about our fitness a long time ago. We were strong. I mean, don't get me, you could run, you could fight, you could, but the actual flexion of the joints and the strengthening of the joints, which was part of the cultural experience of living in Asia, was not coming out in other people's knees. So I started researching knees and which muscles support the knee. And in my previous videos, I showed you how to adjust the knee, how to stretch the knee. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how to strengthen the knee. I don't expect you to do 1,500 to 2,000 slow kicks a day like I did. I had a purpose, a goal. For most people, that would be ridiculous. But I've distilled it down to one small exercise that could help everybody. I give this to all my patients who have knee problems. It stabilizes them. One of the few activities that you just don't see people do is lock the leg perfectly straight, except if they're doing specific weightlifting where they take the leg and they curl it out and they lock it out. You just don't see that. And in karate, most of the kicks, at least that we learned, you know, side kick, round kick, we would tuck the leg, we'd lock the leg. So if I threw my kicks slow and I held them out there, I was developing those knee muscles. So what I show people, and you don't have to do it standing, you don't have to wear a special uniform, you just sit down, you take your leg, you put it out in front of you, you pull or dorsiflex your foot back as far as you can, get the knee straight and hold it for 15 to 20 seconds and release. Okay, let me see if I can find a better way to show that to you. I'm going to go like this, I'm going to tilt my camera down. Okay, so now you can see my knee, okay? And I lock it. See my muscles? And I release, and I lock it. 15 to 20 seconds, and you could do reps. What you're doing is you're not only building up the quadricep muscle as it comes down close to the tibia, and the tibialis muscle as it comes up closer to the knee. What you're also doing is building up a small muscle behind the knee called Popliteus. And by and large, I would say a lot of people, even if they're athletic, that muscle is not developed or well developed anyway. When you run, you never lock the legs. When you play tennis, when you jump, when you swim, again, learning a hard-style martial art taught me the value of locking the leg. Okay, now you wouldn't want to walk with your legs locked. I mean, that would put too much of a strain into your spine. And again, you're not all going to practice karate. Some of you might. I have a lot of martial artists who do follow my channel, but it's the locking of the knee. Okay, this is a front kick. Well, what I'm explaining to do, when you hold the leg out, hold it out like this. And you could do it seated. Okay, in fact, that's how I recommend it. You take legs one, you know, and you hold it out 15 to 20 seconds, and the other. And what happens is that combined with strengthening and perhaps the little adjusting moves that I showed you before will help to stabilize the knee. Popliteus needs to get built. The origin and insertions closer to the knee of all the hamstrings, the quadriceps, the calf muscles, the anterior shin muscles called tibialis, all need to support the knee a little bit more in addition to Popliteus. Okay, so that's how you get your knee strong. That's today's video on howtostretch.com. And those of you who've been purchasing my book and asking me questions, thank you. It's available now as a PDF, so no excuse not to get it. And it just got finished. It's hot off the presses with Kindle, but give me a week or so to figure out how to load that one up. I got to fix the cover a little bit. And hot on the heels of this, the next month I hope to have out my next book, which is basically a handbook to lead you through all these exercises. It's a short little one. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for telling your friends. Bye-bye.